Welcome back everyone to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So we're coming off of another great race. Both cars actually finished very well, including car number 2 finishing quite a bit better than what I expected by coming home in 21st as opposed to 24th after we had to make those extra pit stops. So the first thing I want to point out is you can see how at the top of the screen here, the team stats, you can see how this changes over the course of a year. All of the teams are getting better. So you notice that our drivers, even with the changes we've made, we're dead last now. At this point of the season, as we come to the very end, sponsorship is not good. Only one team that we're beating. And then our pit crew has stayed around this 4th place area. So we're not too bad off on that. But otherwise, our car is abysmal and our drivers overall are abysmal. So what it tells you is that if you work the strategy and everything, the timing works out for you and everything, then you can still get some good finishes. That's what this game will allow for. But we got a lot of work to do. And again, this is going to take seasons because it's going to take money. I mean, we can go hire a bunch of staff right now. We could go hire a bunch of drivers that are better than the ones we have, at least on car number 2 for sure. But it's going to take time. It's going to take money. And so this is not going to be a quick fix. It's going to take multiple seasons to get to where we want to be, but our job is to do everything we can with the time we have to try to get there as quickly as we can. All right, let's go ahead and work through some of these. Again, around 50%. Let's do our interview. Hopefully it's not the same question. All right, so we're back to a driver had a disaster of a race. What's your analysis? Doesn't surprise me. No, we're definitely not going there. Their team looks weak. Come on, that's not good. There we go. I like this one at the bottom. And so we've got a new personality trait, which is they're open to discussing terms with us, which is nice, but unfortunately not something we're ready to do right now. Pit stop review, not all that good, but that's okay. It's kind of where we are. Let's go ahead and head into our guys and see who is looking good. Okay, we're not too bad. 84 of 89. Now, Vancouver is our last race of the year, so there's no reason to hold anybody out here, except you might be worried about them making mistakes from being too low on stamina. But we're going to go with everything we've got, that's for sure. We're going to go with the strongest group that we can get, which means that, all right, 4 and 10. We're definitely putting that, I'm going to swap that out here. And then, see, we can't swap out here because for some reason they didn't gain a whole lot. Oh, wait, yeah, they didn't gain a whole lot there. I started to say that's the one we just swapped out, but no. That was actually a different one, I believe. Holy cow, I've already forgotten the names of the ones. All right, so let's see what we've got here. So we've got 85 out of 100, which is fine. 84, 74. What about the jack? Okay, that's going to be a little bit better on the rear jack. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and swap it out. We'll get it as quick as we can. Stamina shouldn't be an issue there. Okay, what else do we have? So we can't use here. What about here? 69. Is that high enough? Is the question. And for me, the answer is yes, simply because it's one behind where we are there. And then, let's see, 69 out of 94. Wow. Do we want more stamina or do we want the speed? I think I'm going to take the stamina in this case. Okay, that looks good. From there, all right, now we're filled out. Let's see, this person, not interested. This person, sort of okay all around. Then we got, okay, very good here, but we're not hiring anybody right now. All right, pretty good here. This is not bad. Very good here as well. And then down here, not really interested. I mean, rear jack is okay, but again, we've seen that doesn't really equate all that much. And let's go ahead and get rid of those. That'll empty up some more slots. All right, so we'll go to our car because here shortly, the car repair will be complete. We'll get our email out of the way. And oh wow, look at there. Our brakes are now right up to about average. You can still, it still shows we're in 5th, but we're right up to that arrow which indicates average. That is awesome. But now is when we want to, all right, we want to fix these up. You can see 21 days before the race. We're 30 days out. So we're going to have this maxed out, and then we'll move on to the suspension. Okay, first of the month, it automatically stops. All right, there we go. Performance work is almost done. There we go. Now we got that out of the way. So gearbox is now done. Let's work on the suspension. And it says 6 days before the race. So that will take care of it. That's going to do it. We're going to have the best car that we can possibly get. Granted, still not going to be all that good, but it's going to be all we can possibly get. Okay, performance work done. Okay, there we go. Let's move through some emails and see what we've got. Okay. Okay, the factory needs an upgrade. Yes. Gotta love those emails that tell us everything needs an upgrade. Okay, let's go back to the factory. Now everything is as good as we can get it. Let's just verify that. Okay, and indeed that is the case. So what do we have for crucial here? So we're going to have suspension and the rear wing. So let's go ahead. Where is the suspension? At 95, 94. Okay, so no big deal. Both of these are going to be perfectly fine, but we'll go ahead and throw in something just so we'll give our staff something to do before this last race. All right, so we've got some contracts running down. That's what, let's see, wait, Mike is, all right, so Mike is good to go. So we're not going to have that issue with his fitness in this last race. All right, so we've got some decisions to make. And we're going to hold on to this email for sure, and we're going to be coming back to this one because this is a good driver. He is currently listed as driver 3 on car number 1, but he is a good driver. So what I'm hoping we can do is next season maybe pick up 1 or 2 more drivers, and we'll see where it shakes out. But I definitely am not interested in getting rid of him right now. All right, so we'll move on from that for now. Okay, let's set up everything for the race. Once again, we're going to choose this, and hopefully we can get down to about negative 1.1. That would put us at about negative 1.2 million for the season, if we can do it. Otherwise, we'll be at about 1.6. Okay, let's go ahead and auto pick. And so we've got tire wear high, fuel burn high, and so overall, that's not good. However, even though the tire wear is high, you can see we're using ultra softs at this track. So the hardest tire we're going to have is the soft tire, which is a fairly interesting designation. All right, I don't think we need for either tire. Let's go ahead and do 5s all across. Reason being, if I'm able to do soft tires the whole race, then that will mean that I'll only need 3 of those, 4 if I use one in practice to get the bonuses. So still 5 wouldn't be needed. And the only time I would use these is during qualifying, and the most I would use of those is going to be about 2 sets at the most. And generally I don't only use 1. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do this because I'm thinking super softs might be the way to go here. All right, let's go ahead and go 6 and 6 there. All right, I like that. Everybody should be good on the parts. Let's head to the track. All right, so practice and qualifying now are done, and boy, do I have a surprise for you once this race gets started. Our qualifying positions were tremendous, and the reason for that wasn't the speed. It was because weather was a huge factor, and I simply hit the timing just right to get one flying lap on the dry weather tires, and then I timed it just right when the track got dry enough to put intermediates on. Otherwise, it was full wet conditions, which of course can't run the same laps as intermediates, or of course dry tires can run. So it was all about timing, and everything worked out great for us. So I am very pleased. Let's look at our knowledge bonuses, and you can see race trim full level 3, but we didn't get much of any other bonuses as far as tires because practice was all over the place with weather, so it was hard to get any sort of continuous run. But I'm going to go with the soft tires bonus, although this is something I really wish that I knew ahead of time. I feel like the game is either not giving me enough information that I need, or I'm not looking in the right place for it. And I'll show you what I mean. I did, well, the time that I could do practice on dry weather tires during the practice session, I practiced on the soft tires. You can see that's the only set of tires I used right there during practice. And I did that because I was planning on doing the two-stop strategy, where each of the 3 drivers goes roughly an hour to finish up the race. Well, it didn't tell me how much fuel I was going to have for the race, and it turns out that's the limiting factor. I'm not going to have enough fuel to really make the soft tires be of any use unless I want to go soft tires and then push hard. So that's an option that I may go with as well. But you can see 39 laps of fuel, which of course, since we're pushing the engine, is going to end up being maybe 36, 37. And that lines up much better with the super softs than it does with the soft tire. So that's disappointing to me that has happened. And of course, that's going to be the same situation with really car number 2 as well. So we're starting on the super softs as opposed to the soft tires that I would prefer. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get a quick save just in case something happens with the game. All right, you can see here we're showing 15th and 17th. So yeah, that's very much not something I was expecting. But the other good thing, in addition to the great starting spots, is that we made the sponsor objective. So we made $225,000, I believe is what it was, for qualifying, and we're going to hope to get that as well in the race. I mean, any little bit of money we can get will help out here at the end of the season. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on 12 times. And again, I'm going to start out in 3D mode, and as long as my brain can handle it and I don't start to get a headache from this, then I'll try to keep it over here because it definitely looks a whole lot better. All right, so here we go. Let's see how far we fall backwards, if any, because remember, we're not pushing. Ooh, never mind, we need to. Okay, I wanted to get a quick glimpse at our tire temps, and they started out pretty low, so we're going to try to move on with that. And of course, we got driver mistakes, and that just seems to be something that we do. All right, so we're holding on to 15th right now, which is 3rd position in our particular division. And speed is really good right now. I'm really liking this. We're going to keep an eye on the tire temps, and of course, keep an eye on the stamina of the drivers, because we need them to go at least 45 minutes, and I'm hoping for an hour still. But I don't think we're going to quite make it. Or we had a collision, however, that was doesn't appear to be with one of our cars. Okay, tire temps still look good. They're at roughly the medium point right now, which is about where we want to keep them. So we'll continue to push momentarily. Oh, we got another driver mistake, and that's a lockup that's going to kill the tires. So apparently our drivers they don't have the ability to push without making mistakes. That is definitely not what we need long term. Let's go ahead and back off of the push, at least momentarily. We got more collisions. I don't like to see that because that could very easily be us. That's 2 collisions already. Okay, we're up to 14th and 20th right now, so a good run for both cars so far, even though we swapped, we fell back a little bit with car number 2 at the start. Okay, tire temps are falling very quickly, so let's go ahead and push those back up. So it's definitely looked like we're going to run out of tire before we run out of fuel because of the driver mistakes as much as anything, I think. All right, but overall, this is looking very, very good. Oh, we got another driver mistake. Good gracious. All right, so we're definitely going to be looking for some drivers that can actually drive the car hard without us having to worry about micromanaging their mistake chances. All right, so here we are. We're 25 minutes in to the race, and car number 1 is still running fantastic. Car number 2 still running very good as well. Now, granted, our tires, we're on a different tire than the majority of these guys are, but that's okay. That's part of it. And let's get back down. All right, so worn tires, you see that. That's definitely not what we're looking for. But unfortunately, it's just something we're going to have to deal with. What I want to see, though, before I decide whether I'm going to continue on these tires or have to swap to maybe the soft tires, is I want to see how close can we get to the 45-minute window. 45 minutes enables us to do a 3-stop race. And so because of the mistakes, we're not looking good right here. This is not good. However, let's see, we're at 35 minutes. Now we're looking a little bit better on car number 1. This is good. Car number 1 is looking better. All right, so I'm running these tires down lower to try to get a little bit closer. All right, let's set up our first pit stop. So now we're going to put Rico in here. And his tire choice, let's go ahead. Let's stay with the super softs. Fuel options. Let's see, 40 to 42 laps. I don't think we're going to quite get that close. Let's fill him up and then back off a little bit. Try to pick up any speed we can pick up. You can see 1 lap of fuel is equal to about a 1/10. So we're going to try to take advantage of that. But so car 2 rather is just not looking good with as far as the time. Okay, let's hope no mistakes here in the pits. Okay, everything looks good. Now we're looking at car number 1, still running great. We're 10 seconds, 11 seconds off the lead. But, all right, tire wear is definitely becoming an issue, and fuel is not going to become an issue. Okay, everything's still looking good. We got plenty of stamina left. We're right at our 45-minute window. Okay, we're going to push a little bit with car number 2. Try to get those tire temps up a little bit. And all right, let's back off a little bit now here with car number 1, and let's get our first pit stop going. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and this time I'm going to do something a little bit different, because I think at this point, I'll tell you what, no I'm not. I'm going to stick with the 3-stop strategy. I'm just going to stick with this. All right, fill it up, and let's actually come off of that by 5, because fuel was not an issue. So let's back off a little bit, but not so much that fuel becomes a big deal. Okay. All right, so far so good on the pit stop. Let's hope that continues. Complete, everything complete. Complete, excellent. All right, let's go ahead and push a little bit here at the start. All right, so we hold on to 15th, which means that means everybody was coming in for pit stops. Okay, I really like that. All right, we'll keep an eye on tire temps. Everything looks good so far. Starting to rise on car number 1. Okay, so let's back off a little bit there. Don't want to let him get too high. And if he doesn't make any mistakes, I think we're going to be a lot better off with fuel and use a lot more of the fuel. Okay, let's also back off a little bit here with Romano. So without the mistakes, because we lost a good bit of our tire wear because of mistakes on that first stint. So now that things are a lot more spread out, you can see we're in much better shape right now. So everybody so far has made one stop, and we are doing 14th and 17th. I mean, that's amazing. 2nd and 5th in our division. Yeah, this is pretty awesome right now. One thing I wish I had was, let's see. Yeah, I wish I had a better way. Let's see, if I keep it, now I have to hover over to keep that. I really wish I could see real-time lap times, like right down here at the bottom somewhere, instead of having to keep this up, because I don't need all of this information. What I really do need, though, is that last lap time, just to get an idea of how things are working when I push, don't push, versus different tire compounds, all of that. But that's really my only issue right now, is I wish I had more information about lap times. Right now, our gap. Wow, look at this. We are closing in on the leader. Let's look for any weather. Don't see any. Okay, we see the track grip is going to continue. But yeah, we are closing in on the leader. Again, trying to keep an eye out for those temps so we don't push the tires too hard. We're down at around 4 seconds. And wow, everything is looking really good. Let's go ahead and back off. On car number 1, car number 2, tire temps still have not really come up. And you can see here the fuel and the tires are going to roughly coincide with the driver's stamina. Let's go ahead and set up his pit stop. Again, time in the car is not as much as we need it, but we're just going to keep on with this. We're going to keep doing this. I like doing it this way, and we'll see how it turns out at the end. So fuel options were pretty good that time. Let's see, tire choice 32 to 34. That means I want about, let's go about 30, let's go about 34. So not quite filling it up. All right, and driver swap, yeah, I couldn't remember if I got the driver swap done. So let's focus in on car number 1, and we'll keep an eye on the pit stop. All right, so far so good. The fueling, good. Everything looks really good. All right, I like that quite a bit. Okay, you can see the tires. We're down to 30% wear. And somewhere around 25 is where I want to come in. So you can see the fuel. We still didn't get where we needed there. I'm going to back that off to neutral because we need, wow, this is definitely not what we needed on the time in the car. But I think it's going to start to catch up with us that these guys are using the soft tires and we are not. But so far so good. And all right, so we go ahead and now we pit. The tires are really starting to fall off. Tire choice here. Let's go ahead and put on the soft tires and see if we can get a much longer stint here and use up that fuel. All right, fill it up. And this should mean we don't have to worry about the tires near as much, and we can get a longer stint in, and then maybe one more shorter stint at the end of the race where it's another sprint for us. Okay, everything looks good on there. Okay, now we'll just see how this works out. Okay, we got a little bit of weather coming. All right, so everybody push, and we'll see. At least push until your tire temps get way too high. All right, we're going to have to keep an eye on this weather. If it doesn't go too much higher than what we can see on the screen now, just barely at the end, then we should be good to stay on dry tires. But if it goes up much higher than that, we'll have to really think about it. So this is where the strategy is really going to come into play. Okay, we're moving back up some in the standings right now, and that's because everybody's starting to come in for their second pit stop. All right, so now it's damp right now. We're gonna hold off on coming into the pits as long as we can. But wow, okay, it looks like it is going to, yeah, this thing, it's going to rain hard. Or at least hard enough for enters, is what I mean. So people are starting to come on to enters now. All right, let's go ahead and let's push. Let's go full attack mode on car 2. All right, let's come into pit with car number 1. Still going to stay on. Everything else stays the same. Let's go to the enters. Brand new set of enters. We're going to leave everything else the same. Yeah, let's go ahead because the fuel and everything, I don't think we would really need to mess with that. Plus it'll give us a quicker pit stop. All right, full attack mode here for car number 2, trying to make up all the time possible before we bring him in for enters as well. You can see the track grip is going away. Okay, let's set up the pit stop here. Full enters. And let's go ahead and give you a little bit more, about 30 on fuel. Okay. All right, everything looking good there. We're going to go ahead and stay in full attack mode. Not full attack mode, I mean push. Okay, driver mistake. How about that? We just got here, and already we're getting driver mistakes. And we'll keep an eye on the weather continually. Okay, so we're in 5th place and not too far. In fact, we're right there ready to make a pass, it looks like, on 16th. Or yeah, they're still on dry tires. So that's no good for them. Okay, we got another pit stop happening right now. That should move us up, hopefully, another position. Okay, we need to back off because of tire temps. All right, and oh, I should have swapped out Mike Ham. Yep, I should have. Okay, that's on me. I completely missed that. Completely missed that. All right, so I'm trying to hold on a little bit longer. I know he's going to slow down, but at this point, if I can get him to about 40, yeah, that's good enough right there. So that was my bad. So we've got about an hour left of time right here, and with 55 minutes. So that's perfect for Carolyn. And what do we need? We need still enters. And I think she can make it to the end on the enters. We're going to make sure and give her a full load of fuel. Okay, and that'll be it for her as far as pit stops. Okay, come back over to car number 1, and we need to push. Okay, another driver mistake on a lockup there, and that just kills the tires. All right, but otherwise we are looking pretty good, actually. Of course, we're not going to make it to the end of the race at this point. We know we're coming in one more time, and at this point, we just need to hope that we stay in this enters weather, because then we can make our final pit stop and everything should be good to go. So we're just going to use these tires for all they're worth and try to make a run as much as we can. All right, in fact, let's just go full attack mode. Whoops, we need to get back to pushing over here with Carolyn. Okay, let's back down to neutral there. Okay, you can see we're doing good, but there are several cars in our vicinity for position. Take a quick look back, and so far so good for the enters. All right, let's set up our final pit stop. Everything still looks really good, so we're pressing as hard as we can here, making up all the time possible. Okay, stamina's wearing down, which is perfectly fine. And another driver mistake. Okay, that's time for a pit stop. All right, so we're going to have plenty of time left to put in our number one driver. All right, tire choice. It looks like enters are still going to be the way to go. Fuel options, I'll tell you what, we're at 35 minutes. So that's going to be roughly, we'll do 30 on the fuel. That should be perfectly fine. Maybe even 31 there, so we don't need to fill it up. And let's go balanced there as well. Okay, let's see if we can't get this thing done. Okay, still looking good here on car number 2. As far as tire heat goes, everything looked good. I didn't see any mistakes on car number 1, so now we just go back to attack. So we need to pick up a few positions, but of course in order to do that we need some folks to make pit stops, and I think at least a couple of these are going to have to make pit stops, if not more. So the harder we can push, the more ground we can make up, the better off we're going to be when those pit stops happen. Because we definitely will not need to make another pit stop outside of something catastrophic happening. Okay, so we're watching these tire temps. As soon as they get right around the midline. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like all the way to the end of the race we're going to be in enters territory. That is exactly what we want. All right, wow, so 18th and 21st. Very nice. Okay, so 18th position. 18th position is right there with us on time and on tires. So we're going to have to really press if we're going to do anything with getting into that sponsor objective. We're going to have to push hard, but you can see, I mean, it's there for us. And we are fighting hard for it. I mean, we're right there. There's 3 cars right here together for position. Okay, there we go. Again, trying to push as much as I possibly can. The worn tires, that is not an issue whatsoever. In fact, let's go ahead, full overtake mode on the engine. Let's go back to push, because we are trying to get up into the top 5. This is where we're trying to get right now. So we've got plenty of fuel for this strategy. The question is, do we have enough speed? We're about, what, 3 seconds? 2-3 seconds? Okay, 7 minutes left in the race. We're not worried about stamina or anything else at this point. All right, we're a little over 2 seconds out. And we are giving it everything we've got. All right, let's try to cool down the tire a little bit. Let's go right back to pushing. Again, only 3 minutes left. We're giving it all we've got. We're making up a little ground, it looks like. I'm just not sure it's going to be enough. full attack mode. Why not? Forget about the tire heat, tire anything. All right, so yeah, we're using up all the tires. All right, so we got low fuel warnings. We got everything coming in there, but we're not going to quite be able to get it done. Wow, that was exciting. That was exciting. You can see we made 4 pit stops. In the top 5, only one person made more than 3. So we were a little bit off on the pit stops because of our tires. But overall, I am thrilled with that race. Again, you can always do a little bit better, but I think we did really good in that race. And it really has me hopeful that if next season we can start to work on our car a little bit more and bring that up, I think we're going to be in really good shape. And of course, that all is contingent upon us not losing our job with going into the negative here. So that's how we'll finish after 9 of 9 rounds. We end up with 93 points, which is a lot more points than I actually thought we were going to get at the beginning of the season. A good bit out of 5th and 4th and so on. But I think we can go a long way toward improving that next season. Okay, let's let it go ahead and load up our final few screens. But yeah, that was exciting. That's the kind of racing I like. There's drama with the strategy, the weather, the tire, everything. Okay, let's go ahead and get a save in. Okay, so morale is perfect. Our relationship with the mechanic continues to increase, although I must say that's going to be changing at some point because we'll be looking at getting new mechanics and better mechanics. Our driver form's still not good, not where we need it to be. Marketability goes up a touch, still not as much as we need. And look at car number 2. Look at this. Yikes. Driver form there. That's terrible. 8.0 is good. Otherwise, not all that great. So, all right, we see the money, and look at there. Roughly 1.4 million in the negative. For a while, it looked like it was actually going to be worse than that. And so our driver championship has been decided. Look at there, 4 race wins out of 9. Wow, 2 DNFs. Very well done. 5 podiums out of 9 races. And look at that prize money, $22 million, almost $22.7 million. Very nicely done on their part. So that'll do it for this video. When we come back in our next video, we'll take a look at all of the stuff that happens in the off season, which is us continuing to work on our car if there's anything left there to do. And then we will get our prize money, and then we'll be looking at preparing our new car for the new season. All sorts of stuff like that are going to happen over the off season, and I can't wait to get started for the new season. That's going to do it for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more of our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.